What's up, homies and homettes?
Oh my god.
Okay, so what is this email about?
Okay, so this one today is about, do loser guys have the best D?
Do loser guys have the best D?
Do they?
How am I supposed to know? Do loser guys have the best D?
Shut up.
Oh my god.
Shut up. Okay.
Come on, let's get on with this.
Okay. So it says, hi guys, I'm wondering if you could help me because I'm not sure myself. Recently, my little sister and her friends asked me a question about guys, and me being the older big sister, I think they assumed that I would know. They were sitting around and talking about how they noticed that the loser guys have the best D, and they asked me why that is. I haven't had much experience with guys, so I'm not too familiar with why that could be. So if you guys have any idea as to why loser guys would have the best D, please let me know. Thanks, Jamie from Dallas.
Hey, that's our first time where someone told us where they're from.
Yeah, they usually like to be anonymous.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's still kind of, she didn't tell us her last name or nothing.
Yeah.
And we don't even know if the bitch is really from Dallas.
Right, I'm not gonna, there's gonna be
Jamie from Dallas.
thousands, hundreds of thousands.
Well, Jamie, I'm sorry for calling you a bitch. And we will unpack this. So,
Jamie's little sister and her friends sound like little hoes to me.
they sound like little hoes?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Okay, how would they know if all these loser guys have the best D? Wouldn't they have had to have, you know, a good amount of guys?
They fuck some guys. Let's say that. Like, say they say they all fuck 4 guys each. They're out of all the. We don't know how many of her friends were there, but if they all say there were 4, you know, what I mean, that's 16 guys, 16 dicks. So somebody in the mix has fucked some nerds, though, because if they didn't fuck some nerds, they wouldn't be saying loser guys have the best dick.
They wouldn't be able to like compare.
Yeah, so the fact that they're able to differentiate the two, you know what I mean?
They sound like little hoes.
Yeah, I'm sure they're having a good time. Let's say, you know, we don't want to call her little sister a hoe, you know. So,
it is what it is.
Why do you think that they're saying that the loser guys have the best dick, the best D?
Well, I think it's because the loser guy, that's all he has. He's a loser. So all he has is just his sex game. So he's just going to put a lot more emphasis on that.
Is that what you think?
Yeah.
I don't know if he even thinks
he doesn't have money, he doesn't have a career, he doesn't have education. He's a loser. That's the definition of loser, right? Somebody who doesn't have their, you know, doesn't have it together.
So why are they even fucking losers? Why do women fuck losers?
Because they're fun.
So it's just a fun guy?
Right. Losers are fun because losers have no responsibility. They're losers.
They just live in the moment?
They have nothing to lose. And so they're able to be more careless and more adventurous, you know, risky. And that's fun to a young chick who wants to have fun.
It's fun to a young chick who's just the same as him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So the reason why, I mean, not that I know for sure. I mean, I don't know, but I would think that it has something to do with guys. You know, the loser guy is, he lives in the moment.
Right.
And, you know, he's the fun guy.
Right.
And he's probably gonna, you know, like you said, he doesn't have anything else. So maybe he'll put more emphasis at trying to put it down in the bed. I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe he's going to tend to be more wild in the bed.
Right, because you don't really have to put a whole lot of effort into your sex.
You don't?
No. I mean, it's just, how much more can you really stand out? Like, how do you stand out at your sex game?
Well, what do you mean, how do you stand out? You like how you stroke it. Like,
No,
how you
okay,
fuck.
for guys, for women, I think we're able to stand out much more than guys.
But, you know, maybe, you know, there's women that say that guys are lazy in bed and some guys aren't. Yeah. Some guys, you know, really put it down, and then some guys are lazy in bed.
No, I'm saying, like, how do you really put it down? Like, you just go in and out. Like, what other motion can you do?
Well, you know, some guy, maybe, you know, they equate that with how fast you go, how hard you go, and how big your dick is. Maybe those are things that matter for a chick that, you know, is saying that, you know, those guys have the best dick. So anytime a woman says a guy has good D, there's a few things that you need to understand. Like, for one, she's really digging him. That's why he has good D. For two, he probably knows how to work it. And three, he's got to have some kind of size, because if he doesn't have any size, it don't matter how good you work it, you ain't doing shit to the pussy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what they mean. They the bottom line is, I think they just like bad boys. And then I think that the guys that that aren't losers, obviously they fuck some guys that aren't losers, and they didn't think they had the best D. And I think that that's because they weren't really digging them that much. I think that maybe those guys tend to be more boring and stuff. You know what I mean? And so they didn't like their personality. Now, I'm telling you what it is. It ain't just the dick alone. It's they didn't really like that guy to begin with. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but why isn't there boring? Why? Because he doesn't smoke weed and drive fast, and he doesn't. That's why they're boring.
No, he brings excitement. You know, like he keeps them. You know, he keeps them. Women like a guy that keeps them guessing. You know what I mean? Like a good guy is very predictable. You know, like me. You know, I'm a good guy. I'm older, but I'm very predictable. You know.
Right, but I am not bored with you.
Yeah, but you're mature yourself. If you you're older too. Like, can you imagine if you were 21? Maybe you might not like me. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? If you were 20, wait a minute. When you were 21, we were together. So that's not true. But the point is that what I'm saying is that you just, you know, you don't. A good guy just tends to be more boring than a guy that you have to think though too. Like your background is very moral. You know what I mean? Like if you come from a fucked up background, you're gonna tend to like more of the bad boy kind of guy. Does that make sense?
I can see that.
Like your mom was, you know, telling you and your sister to, you know, be moral and respect yourselves, and you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
That's what we were brought up.
Yeah, and you have a 2-parent, you know, household, and you know maybe she doesn't. You know what I mean? Like you just never know. But there's a lot of reasons why you hear chicks say the bad boy has the best dick. You know, I just think that she just likes other things about him too. Because at the end of the day, dick is dick. You know?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like his sex, like somebody's sex game is so superficial that it's just, unless you have more depth, like that's what you're gonna like, and that's what you're gonna put your emphasis on.
It's just like, you know, they're just saying he's funner and more all around. They like the bad boy. That's all that is. But the bad boy is associated with being the loser. Yeah. Usually, if you're the bad boy, you're probably a loser. You know what I mean? They go together. They go together.
Right. It's like loser chicks.
Yeah. Well, yeah. A loser chick is okay. That's the thing too. Loser chicks tend to be the best in bed too. You know what I mean? Like they're the wildest, the sluttiest. You know, they usually suck the best dick. You know, like.
I think it's because in both parties, like whether it's a loser guy or a loser girl, they don't have anything to lose. They
just don't care. They don't. You know, for a woman to be really good in bed, she's got to really let go. You know what I mean? That's how she's got to be good in bed. She's got to really let go of herself. And usually the chicks that really let go, you have to think if the chick is very career driven and has a good job and shit, she's probably thinking about the project she has to do tomorrow or something.
Right, reality.
Yeah, so she's like, well, shit, just hurry up. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if it's a loser chick, she lives in the moment. She's wild. And, you know, she tends to enjoy herself in the bedroom a little bit more, I would think. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's just my opinion. So, you know, but at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, if me being with the freak loser bitch, is that worth it all around? So that 20 minutes of fucking in the bedroom, outside of the bedroom, can she carry a conversation with me? Is she quality? Do I want her around my parents and my family? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, is she respectable? Do I want to be in public with her? Right. Those are things that you need to ask yourself. But these girls are young, obviously, and maybe they're just they like the fun boy. And, you know, when you're young, not a lot of conversation goes on with fuck boys. You know what I mean? Like, when you're young, I remember being young, you know, like I would say, I've had chicks that I said 2 things to and was fucking. You know, like real shit. Like, just 2 things and I'm in the pussy. You know what I mean? Like real shit. So, you know, I think that there's a lot that go with it when they say that our loser dudes have the better D. I think that they equate that with all the other things that go with him, like he's funner, he's wild, you know. So they just assume that the D's better because there's not so much you could do with the D. Like you go in her and you know you hit it right. You just hit it, you know, and It is what it is. So it has to be other things that make their D better than the nerd's D. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you're both 7 inches, why is the loser's D is better than the nerd's D? But you're both 7 inches. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the reason why,
top nasty.
So the loser D is just better because that's how she associates the loser with nasty sex. Mm-hmm. Like they go together. You know what I mean? Anytime you associate sex, good sex is nasty. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so the loser dude is, he's gonna be more wild. So all of it they all fall into place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she thinks his dick is better. But there might be the nerd that's putting it down too. You know what I'm saying? But she's too busy thinking about other things about him. Whereas the loser, she's just like in the moment with him. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So all that go together. Nasty sex is equated to loser guys. Nasty sex, when you think of a porn bitch, you don't think of her as quality and stuff. So it's easier for you to look at her as a nasty bitch. So you're already equating her as having better sex than maybe the quality chick that is doing big things in life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that goes together. The porn chick, you automatically see her as giving you better sex than you would a chick that is maybe a lawyer or has her shit together. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So they just go together. So them little chicks, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But anyway, so I hope you got your answer, if you got any answer out of this. But that's just those are our opinions. Like, we just think that there's so many other things that make you think he has better dick. But we think that he just lives in the moment and he doesn't care. You know what I mean? And maybe you equate that with having good dick, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Usually people do.
You know what I mean? That's what I think. So I hope you got your answer. What's her name? Jamie?
Jamie.
Yeah, I hope you got your answer, Jamie. And thanks for the email. And you guys show us some love. Give us some thumbs up. And keep emailing us questions. And we are out.